Military says it's recovered the bodies of 6 hostages killed by Hamas. One of those is 23-year-old Israeli-American Hirsch Goldberg Polin, whose parents spoke at the DNC in Chicago last month. Officials say Hirsch was one of 3 people to be released in early July. The California native was taken hostage while protecting friends and strangers at the Nova Music Festival on October 7th. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued a statement Sunday saying whoever murders hostages does not want a deal. The Hostages Families Forum called out the Prime Minister to stop blaming everyone and take responsibility for his failures.
Anyone who is a parent or has had a parent can try to imagine the anguish and misery that John and I and all the hostage families are enduring.
We know the one thing that can most immediately release pressure and bring calm to the entire region: a deal that brings this diverse group of 109 hostages home and ends the suffering of the innocent civilians in Gaza.
Some Illinois leaders are shaken by this news. U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth says, "My heart is broken by this gut-wrenching news. His parents' bravery, strength, and steadfast love for their son has been awe-inspiring." U.S. Senate Majority Whip Dick Durbin says he's heartbroken and devastated to learn of Hirsch's murder, as he was a young man with his entire life ahead of him when he attended the Nova Music Festival. Both Duckworth and Durbin called for an immediate ceasefire. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris were also outraged by this news and say Hamas leaders must pay for these crimes. Biden says this is as tragic as it is reprehensible. Harris says she told Hirsch's parents earlier this year they are not alone, and this is true now as they mourn their son's loss. Both add they will work tirelessly to free all of the American hostages.